Hi, good morning, and welcome to Inside the Franchise Diary. Today I have Toli Kanaris of Cell C with me. Toli is a Cell C franchisee, and I'm not going to introduce him much more than that. I'm going to allow Toli to tell us who he is, how many Cell Cs he has, and then we'll get into why did Toli pick Cell C as his brand of choice, and we'll get into some of Toli's experiences as a franchisee. So over to you, Toli. Do you want to tell the audience, and thanks again for coming to spend some time with me. Do you want to tell the audience about yourself, and then we'll get into your experiences?
Hey Lynn, thanks very much for having me, man. This is very exciting. First time doing a little video cast here. So thanks for having me on. Yeah,
You're
geez, it's been
welcome.
a ride. 2001, I think it was when I got into Cell C.
Wow.
Thanks to you, actually. So 23 years now.
Gee.
Yeah, you actually were the lady who got me on board, who gave me that phone call. Eventually, you said no, I couldn't be a franchisee, and then you gave me the call, and I was like, I'm in, and I haven't looked back. And what a ride, what an adventure, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, just for the audience to know, back in the day, I was part of the team selecting all the franchisees for Cell C. And Charlie was this very young man, he's just told you 21 years ago, who was very keen to become part of Cell C. And I'm so glad that I did eventually change my mind and allow you to come in, Charlie. Do you want to tell us a little bit about why did you see Cell C as a great opportunity at the time? You know, obviously, I was going to ask you, how did you find your onboarding process? But we'll get back to that.
So, funny enough, at the time, I was actually living in London, trying to side hustle another deal that side. And the opportunity came up on this side. We saw actually, my mom saw it in the paper. She says, "Oh, this is quite cool. Look at there's a third network coming to South Africa." And I actually had my first cell phone before the networks went live in South Africa. I was one of those
Wow.
little cool cats that thought they were too cool for school and had their cell phone in class showing off. So I think I was always drawn to this industry. And when that came up, I was like, no, this is something I need to get involved in, and hence started the process with everything with you guys. And yeah, I think it was right up to the last minute where I didn't know whether I was in or whether I was out. And then someone pulled out lastminute.com, and yeah, that was my inroad, and that was it. You guys just signed me up very quickly, and we were in training. I think within a week, I had to fly back from London, and you got us
Wow.
into those training sessions straight away. And there we go.
Yeah, we were tasked with the impossible because we'd taken over 27 stores at the time. They were ready to go. So we had our work cut out for ourselves to get Cell C into the market and operational. And tell us, Tolly, how many franchises do you have with Cell C now?
Currently, I've got two. I was originally up to about four stores, but obviously with COVID, we weren't getting much support from the landlords.
Yeah.
And with any business, you need to start trimming the fat and cutting off things that are not profitable.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's ego to have more stores, but at the end of the day, it's bottom line what counts. So, I've had to narrow down. I'm currently sitting at two. Fingers crossed, there's potential now to get more stores. I believe Celsius are doing a restructure with franchisees to get more stores now. They're relinquishing control of their company-owned stores. So yeah,
Oh,
the
that's
next chapter is
wonderful.
going to be really exciting. And yeah, if I'm lucky enough to get one of those stores, I think yeah, we'll definitely be growing to the next level, especially after Celsius recap is now finalized. Very exciting times ahead.
That's wonderful. I've been watching what the brand's doing on LinkedIn, and I've noticed there's a new look and feel and lots of new product available to the market as well. So I certainly think Celsea is going in a different direction again and keeping up with the times.
What Celsius have done in the last year, the energy that they've brought to the business, the people they brought to the business, it's magic. It's like the early days when I first started with Celsius. There's just like a reinvigoration of drive now, and
Yeah.
everyone is excited. Let me tell you, everyone, top down. There's not one person I speak to within the company that's just so excited for the brand. And obviously that filters down to us, and that obviously will filter back down to our customers. making sure they get the best of the best.
That's fantastic. That's actually, it's lovely to hear when people are so keen on their brand and that it in reinvigoration of the brand. I can hear it when you tell me that. And it's always so exciting to be part of that, when the brand's going in a new direction and there's somebody breathed new life into it. It's really great. And tell us,
Oh,
Tony,
yes.
have you ever considered being a franchisee of other brands, or you've only just stayed a Cell C franchisee?
I've only ever been a Cell C franchisee. That's all I
That's
live. I
amazing.
know. That's all that's in my blood. Not sure there was a stage when we were in the difficult times where like, oh, maybe this is not the right thing. But you know what? If you stick to your guns, do what you do, love what you do. That's the first thing. And I love what I do. Every day I love what I do. Um, we managed to get through the hard times. I think the worst is behind us. Now it's just full steam ahead. Only way is up.
Great. That sounds amazing. And I think what you raised there is such an important point because every brand will go through its growth spurts and then coming back to the drawing board and having a look at, so you might have an instance where we're going through a hard time. And I think you mentioned it just now when you said, what a hard time you went through with COVID and how it made you relook what you're doing. And that bottom line was definitely what you needed to consider.
100%. The
Yeah.
bottom line is all that matters.
I asked, can you tell us a little bit about how, as a franchisor, Cell C supported you in deciding that you're no longer going to be part of 4 outlets, but now going to trim down to 2?
So Chelsea did support. They had their team in with negotiating with the landlord, and the landlords weren't willing to come to the party to negotiate. We gave them several offers,
Yes,
and eventually got to the point where it made no sense to just pay the type of rentals without the support. I think that the landlords think, oh, you're a big network, you have untapped amount of money, which
money.
was clearly
Yeah.
not the case. I'm a franchisee. I pay fees towards my franchisor, and in essence, I'm a small medium business. I run my own business. Even though I'm a
Yes.
franchisee of a bigger network, I'm not Cell C. I'm still an individual operator, and that was the biggest challenge for these landlords to actually understand is that I'm not the network. I'm
Yes.
an individual. And they weren't willing to listen to this. And eventually, with Chelsea's support, we came to an arrangement on how things would work. Yeah, definitely supported me all the way there, thankfully. And we're alive and kicking and back to growth now.
That's amazing, Tony. And so I wanted to just touch on that because people need to know that actually a franchisor will support you through the good times and the bad times, and in terms of trying to help you make a suitable decision for you and for the brand ultimately. So I just wanted you to share that with, the public. So especially now when you say some of Cell C's stores are going to be coming available as franchises going forward, so people can see, that a franchisor is really there to support you. And Tony, tell us a little bit.
Listen,
Tell,
the
tell us
franchisor is
what.
a business as well.
Yeah, 100%. But tell us about your plan. What would you say is the best thing you've experienced at Cell C and how it changed your life? And tell us the worst thing you've had and how you dealt with that.
So, best things at Cell C. There's a lot of good things. There's a lot more good than bad. I'll tell you that for free.
Oh, that's
Um,
wonderful.
the incentive trips were great. They take us all over the world when you reach targets. The rewards are great. The revenue checks when the going is good are great. Now there's a lot of good. The people, most importantly, let me tell you, dealing with people who are understand you as people, even though it's a corporate company, you can still talk to someone face to face and say, you know what, you're right, that doesn't make sense, and they'll make a plan. Very good at working with us, especially now with the new people in charge. They've been absolutely phenomenal. It's just, what you say is your bond. And they were absolutely phenomenal. So that from the good side, there we go. From the bad side, yeah, when things were tough, we had to sort of, in a way, fend for ourselves. There was very limited resources in support, even though there was support, but it was limited. We had to fend for ourselves. And I'll tell you that what that taught us was how to stand on our own 2 feet. With my fellow franchisees, there was a lot of communication on what we're doing, how we're doing it, how we would survive, how to pay the bills, and how to get through that phase. I think we all stood together, and we've managed to come through it, thankfully. Like you said, we look back; those are lessons we learned, and we'll take obviously with us in growing the business to the next level.
Wow, Toli, that is a really amazing journey you've had, actually. And you touch on so many things that are close to my heart as a franchise consultant that's been in this industry for the last 27 years. I'm a dinosaur by now. But so, just the fact that you're saying how the franchisees pull together, how you support each other. So that's a wonderful aspect as well in terms of you guys having a sounding board, and I think so there's so much community.
100%.
Yeah, so that's amazing. And Toli, what would you say? I don't want to keep you too long today. What would you say to somebody considering becoming a franchisee? I mean, what would be the tips you would give somebody in terms of saying, this has been my journey. Here's what I think you should look out for or do, etc. What would be your advice to anybody? And now I'm not particularly just talking Cell C. I'm just asking, as your experience, I mean, 21 years is a long, long time. It's a whole career, literally, as a franchisee, quite honestly.
It is. So if I had to go back now in time, knowing what I know now, is talk to the people who are already in the franchisees. Go and find the people who are involved. Listen to their stories. It's not all honky-dory. There are bad stories, but there are also good stories. And you need to find the franchisees that are the positive ones, because there's a lot of ones that I've spoken to, not in my industry, but in other industries, that are just consistently negative and moaning about the franchisor. The franchisor at the end of the day is also a business. So you have to understand they have a certain goal to reach, and we're there to help them achieve it, but they're also there to support you. So if you do well, they do well. It's literally that easy. They're not there to make your life difficult. They're there to protect their business. So the reason you buy a franchise, because you have those set of guidelines and rules to make the running of the business a lot easier. That's what you're buying into. You're not buying into their brand and run it the way you want to run it. It doesn't work like that. So I think if you can just understand that, you're good to go.
That's amazing, Toli. Thank you so much. You touch on so many things that I am just allowing you to go to at this point, and that are so important in franchising, that it is important to talk to people in the network so you understand what you are actually getting yourself involved in. But you know what I love about having spoken to you today, because I haven't spoken to you in ages. It's so lovely to hear you're with Cell C, and from beginning of being in a very exciting environment and a very exciting industry with telephony, and being the third player, quite honestly, at that time, to where you are today and the challenges that you faced and how you guys overcame those challenges. It's so heartwarming to me. And I think for your new Cell C team, just listening to you as a franchisee, I think it's also going to be extremely rewarding and heartwarming for that team to hear how you feel and what has actually brought you to the point that you're at this time. So I really want to thank you for taking the time to share your experience with us today. I think people people just see it from the outside. They never see what's really going on that inside.
100% correct. But let me tell you, in any business is just understanding the people behind the business. Cell C have allowed us into their upper management. They've built relationships with us in the last year since our CEO George took over. They've allowed us into the executive level. They've given us personal numbers. They've allowed us to just be in touch one-to-one instead of this whole corporate rigmarole, go through this channel, go through that, speak to that guy, do that. It's like, there's a problem, there's a solution, here's an idea, there's my number, let's get it done. And I think that's what's going to take us to the next level, is the ability to reach those people. I mean, we can pick up the phone and speak to George. He's not out of touch with anybody.
That's amazing.
and I think that is great as a CEO to have that ability to interact at any level. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's exciting times ahead. I'll tell you that for free.
And again, every time you say anything, I'm just in awe of some of the things that you say because they are real aspects across many, many networks. And what you're saying is, business is built on relationships and being able to pick up the phone and know that you can speak to the CEO and not, this corporate hierarchy of, oh, you got to go through this person and that person, but you actually can have a direct line to the CEO or the MD of a company, and you know that everybody's got your back, is an amazing, amazing environment to be in. So, Toli, thanks so much for your time
We are very
today. Is there
fortunate. So,
anything?
Lynn, thank you.
Is there anything else you want to share with us that I haven't asked?
Yes, if you need your new CELC contract, you know to call me.
Well
No,
done,
really.
Toli.
When you see what's coming now with the network side, CELC will be the only network in the country that will have the most coverage. But you'll see that coming up in the announcement soon. So, yeah, look us up or look me up rather, and I'll make sure I look after you.
That sounds exciting, Toli. And thanks again. And we wish you all the best. And we'll be waiting with bated breath to see what's next in the industry. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to chatting to you
Watch this
soon.
space, Lynn. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Lynn.
you. Thanks,
Thank you
Toli.
for your time.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you too. Bye.
Busy being busy. Do you want to free up more time to do the things that count? Are you juggling brand compliance, risk management, recruitment? Time spent communicating with your network and managing your support team? Time spent ensuring compliance is to brand standard? When do you find the time to improve franchise performance? Do you spend more time putting out fires than building your franchise network? Are you spending more time policing compliance than promoting growth? Are you managing paper, not managing people? When do you get to grow your franchise network? Stop. There is a better way. System Franchise is a cloud-based franchise operating system that effectively addresses compliance, communication, and performance. System Franchise